I think we need to have a segment right now, impromptu segment about messy rooms, because I've been suffering from this affliction my whole life, right? And I don't know about you, but you seem to share some the same qualities of a messy room person. Why is it, and where does it come from, and what separates us from like a spotless, just fucking shiny room person? Take it from here, bro.
Well, I can't necessarily. No, I'm not a professional.
Okay.
At all.
Okay.
One thing I want to say.
A professional at what?
At diagnosing what the deeper thing would be. That's why I use myself for example, right? Because if I'm to be very candid, I thought it was almost a reflection to some extent of having either depression or low self-esteem. Now, none of this has been officially diagnosed, so do not take my word as bond for this.
It's just what we think as two knuckleheads on YouTube.
Yeah.
So tell me what you think, and I'll say what I think, and maybe the viewers will say what they think.
I came to this conclusion is because, like I just said, why would you allow yourself to have all these, like, I have some drink cans in my room, some on the floor. I was like, yo, what the fuck is wrong with this? What the fuck is wrong with you? You got socks here. You got laundry that you need to do. This shit looked like a hurricane went through it. And I'm like, why would I allow myself to live in squalor?
As I look around my room right now.
And I kept on saying, like, you know, if you, like, think of your room almost like a hotel. Treat this shit nice. Mm-hmm. This is your space. Mm-hmm. At the end of the day, not only that, though, I know that I sleep better when my space is clean.
Yo, that like sleep be hitting different. That should be crisp.
Like when my space is clean, I just get better sleep in general, and then I wake up a lot of times even more refreshed. Mm-hmm. So sometimes I'll have like very disrupted sleep. My room is like in chaos. Mm-hmm. So I realized that, and I was like, you know, there might be something to this feng shui stuff, you know? Why people organize the furniture in their house in a certain manner, right?
But okay, if you got to make sure there's a balance in the room and all that. Okay.
And so that's just one thing. I could go even further with it than that, but for now I'll just leave it at that. The room was a good, I think, a big example. But that's all I really have to say about that.
Yeah, I don't know, man. I like.
Oh wait, let me add one more thing.
Go ahead, bro.
I think also some people would, like, for example, well, I don't want to use that example, but if like you, because you said make the comparison to the messy room people and non-messy room people, and I didn't want to talk that general because, for example, you might have a messy room for a completely different reason than mine, and this is why I was kind of trying to keep it to me, because I'm not trying to say this is a reflection of you, but I can talk about myself. Someone with a non-messy room might look at it and just know, like, I'm not. Why would I sleep in a messy room with food wrappers here, cans there? Like, I'm in a subconscious way, I'm deserving of better. I'm going into my room saying, it is what it is.
I would love to see, and in a perfect world, this person doesn't exist, but I would love to see a depressed, clean person, like, because that's like a rarity. You know what I'm saying? Like, usually when people depressed, shit gets out of whack. Your room gets a little messy. You might not care as much, but somebody who is cleaning more because they're currently depressed, I feel like that's a novelty.
And with that being said, I'm done. You could go on, my good man.
I'm half joking. I don't want that person to exist, but I know they do out there. I don't know, like, in terms of me, I've just been a messy person. Like, even the way I work, the way I do things is kind of messy. They fall into place, but maybe unorganized is the better way to say. Some can call it going with the flow, but that's too nice. there has to be some accountability there. Especially when the flow start building up. That shit backed up. Pause. Hey yo. Go ahead.
It's funny that you say that because I've been on a similar journey myself recently. Where, like I said, I need to clean up my room. That shit been a mess for way too long. And I will work on it a little bit, and then it'll just get back to the way it was. But 2 consecutive days I've worked on my room, and like I'm somebody that when it comes to socks.
While you're talking, I'm gonna fix a Discord overlay because they can't necessarily see the light thing come up when you're talking. But continue, my bad, bro.
What was I saying? Oh yeah, like when it comes to socks, those shits used to be everywhere. I just actually took the time out to just, yo, you say you're gonna do this, do it. You say you're gonna do this, do it. Because that's really hurt me, especially as we getting older.
Yeah,
we have to be able to stick to the things that we say we're gonna do. Like just because it's helpful in life, and then also. After a while, you'll start to build up a reputation. Not that you should do it for other people, but that other people will see you as like, yo, this person's unreliable. Like, I've been peeping what this person say they want to do, and they not doing it. So why should I take what you have to say seriously? Hey, I'm going to do this. Well, when are you going to do it? Well, I don't know. Well, yeah. I'm going to do it. I'm going to do it.
Are you saying that's how you view people?
Am I saying that is that how I view people?
Or like in general?
I'm saying that's my experience.
Oh, how people viewed you.
See.
Got you, bro. Okay.
But I did phrase it in a way that's how it was in general.
So it's good to just get clarity on what, whatever one is saying. I don't know why I said it so fancy. But yeah, man. All right. Okay, we're good. All right, so people can see when you talk. But yeah, in terms of like actually doing what you gotta do, I found that like, at least with me, I'm good at getting the initial buzz, that initial steam of I'm gonna do it. And I'll ride the wave for a little bit. But there comes a point where I hit like a middle ground. I've made progress, but I understand that I need to know so much about what I wanna do. But not only what I want to do, but every little facet, like whether it's like a short film, right? Well, if there's a character who's a doctor, how much should I know about being a doctor? And at that point, am I going to study for 20 years just to know how to write one character in order to be accurate? Like that'll go on for infinity. That's just one facet of it. So eventually, like I just like, it's so daunting that I put it off, that I don't do it. And then eventually nothing ever gets done. But I have 2 things to say to that now, though. One, in the meantime, if anybody's listening, like if you're in my steps, if you are where I was, work around the project, if not slowly to the project, whatever it is. Like, all right, if you're not ready to necessarily clean your room right now, right? Like pick the, what is it? Maybe your least favorite part is to sweep. So maybe today, just get all the stuff off your desk, all the high stuff, do that, get it out the way. But make sure tomorrow you do another piece. You can't just wait till next week to do it. In this particular example, because it's going to get dirty again, you're going to be at square one. But, even with like other projects, right? Like even like making videos, I've just started to like, let's say I'm working on one video, but it's a lot. So I'm going to do another video before it, but then I'm stuck on another video. But then I think of doing a short before finishing the second video. Now I got 3 unfinished videos, and that shit is just like putting anxiety on my life because I know I got to finish it, but I'm working around it. But at the very least, even if that's not efficient, by the time I finish all of them, I've put out 5 projects. So it's not the worst to procrastinate as long as you're still keeping things moving. Like you can't just stop. And if you're gonna stop, like even in your rest period, you gotta be thinking of what you're gonna do next. Because even like, for example, going back to working out, right? Even on your rest days, it's not like you really resting, right? Like you might be doing nothing, but your body takes that time that you're doing nothing to do something with it, to heal, to rebuild. So even when you start slowing down, you got to hit the drawing board. You can't just afford to just not do nothing. And the other part to that, like I said, I got two things to say to that, is like the unfinished works, as long as you're still alive, you could put them into something else, right? Like some of the ideas I had maybe for shorts or whatever might have came from other stories that I wanted to put into the comic books or whatever. And it's like, well, for right now, I'm doing this. So why not use this good idea for this? And it's something that I could do quicker, more efficient. If I ever want to reuse it, it's my own fucking work. So it's not plagiarizing, it's my shit, you know? So I think procrastination and putting things off is bad. But if you work with it, it could actually make a really productive person, just in their own, at their own pace, I think.
I think for me personally, when it comes to, sorry, I'm actually multitasking as I talk, but for me personally,
as
I think
you should
something
be. That's the
helped,
point of this stream. We're supposed to be working at the same time.
I think something that's helped for me personally, and this is going to be something very simple and something that I'm sure many people have heard before, but just simply scheduling things, like for example, and also taking breaks in between. Because a lot of times when I do tasks, I realize that I'm thinking that I should do this all in one go. And sometimes the task just can't be done all in one go. And then what happens is I'll get burnt out or tired. And then I just end up not coming back to the task. So sometimes when I feel myself like getting a little burnt out, I'll take like a break for maybe half an hour. Then I'm like, all right, after half an hour, get back to it. And this is no different than what you would do at school or literally at work. However, I think for me, and maybe the way I operate, is that having this kind of scheduled thing, all right, at this time, you should have this much done. At this time, all right, even if you don't have that much done, that task needs to be well underway at the very least. It can't be that I was just chilling and I was supposed to start an hour ago and I didn't do anything, because I used to do that a lot. But recently I've been more mindful of time management. And time management will allow you to do multiple different things in life.
Like what?
So for example, with time management or setting certain time periods to do things, for example, maybe 2 hours of studying after you came from the gym at 3. So you got back from the gym at 3. You're gonna study for 2 hours. That means by 5 you should be done studying. Just because that's a lot of time that you gave yourself. And then at 5, what do? You eat. Okay, after you eat, you might want to shower, and then you might allot some time for, you know, talking with your friends or watching TV or whatever you decide to do. But this allows for multiple things. And the reason why I say multiple things is because sometimes what happens to me is, without some type of scheduling that I'll give myself, I'll get bogged down by all the different tasks that I have to do. And then I end up doing nothing because it's like, I gotta do this, I gotta do this. But by having, you know, certain blocks of time for certain tasks, now it's like, all right, it doesn't seem insurmountable as in a way that I have to do all these tasks, because I'm dedicating a certain amount of time to these tasks. And even if I don't finish it today, I can always come back tomorrow and just pick up where I left off.
You know, for me, and I'm not saying you're wrong, not at all, right? I'm saying for me, it's always been difficult to stick to a schedule. Always, like, unless it involves another person. Like, that's even one of my biggest advice for going to the gym. I think if you're not good, like if you're not the dude who can thug it out on your own and just like do what you gotta do, and if you're not that person right now, until you become that person, I think using another person, like, you know, to both of y'all benefits, both of y'all going to the gym and showing up, is very helpful. So like, but when it comes to just me on my own, it's almost like I respect my time a little bit less. I'm not sure what it is, but I might not show up for the thing that I wanted to do for myself the same way I would show up for somebody else's thing. If they ask me for it, I'm there in a heartbeat. For my own shit, we'll see. But that's something that I will and should definitely work on. But in the meantime, like, yeah, even when like, for example, the stream today, I'm not gonna lie, y'all. I'm not gonna lie. It was like 28 minutes late. It should be at midnight on the dot. You know, I gotta be punctual to my own shit if I'm gonna be punctual to somebody else's shit. I mean work, you know? So that's definitely something to work on. But I'm glad that I've been able to at least get out of the rut of like, I have this big mountain, this insurmountable thing in front of me. I'm gonna just walk the other way. And it's like, well, no, like, we'll chip at it. And instead of stressing about this one big task, I broke it up into a lot of small tasks and then cleaned it up at the end. And I think that's a lot better for people who have anxiety and ADHD, who can't sit still in one place for too long, who can't do one thing long enough to see progress in it. Maybe your skill is doing a lot of things until you finish what you need to do. You know, because everybody works a little bit different. Like you said, like you might need breaks, right? There's some people who could sit through a project, need no breaks, finish it out. There's some people who need a regular amount of time off in order to come back. But there's some people who can't sit still long enough on one thing. And for those people, I'll say whirl like a cyclone, but make sure that you're hitting the beats that you need to hit. Don't just waste your time doing nothing. Like, for example, if you're a streamer, why are you playing games and not recording? You're wasting your time there. Everything that you do, even if you cycling through your little Rolodex, has to push you forward in the direction you want to go. Try to, like, there has to be some method to your madness, even if you can't do things the perfect way. Always find a way to pivot. Find a way to supplement your own personality type. Personality style. I don't know. Archetype. Hey, fuck it. I'm not a scientist. That's just
absolutely. I'm here for it. One thing I want to say too is when you was talking about not valuing time. I think your own time, rather. I think that is a very, very important aspect of things. I know, especially for myself, I would feel that way. Where certain things where I would value it more for someone else than I would myself. And I was like, especially recently, I was like, I gotta stop doing that, because what ends up happening is a lot of times all the tasks that I would need to do for myself, I'd be like, oh, I can always do it and I could just put it off. But if it was for someone else, I realized I would take it a lot seriously, a lot more seriously. And I would be like, why though?
Don't get me wrong, I do think there's nobility in that, but you got to show up for yourself too, though.
Yeah, but I wasn't showing up for myself, and that's not a good thing. And like even my room, for example, right? The messed up, messy room. I was like, yo, why would you allow your room to get this way? Like you deserve to live in a nice, neat, not messed up room. So why treat yourself this way? That doesn't make sense. Love yourself enough to even do it. And it's something that's simple, but I realized that was more reflective of something probably even deeper. And so this is why I've taken on this task and just been breaking it up over the day. Yeah,
like as I look around my room, there's fucking empty water bottles I gotta throw out. It's not nice. Damn, I gotta, you know what? This whole fucking stream is all being productive, so I guess it's time to clean. It's time to clean, my boy. That was my chair, not my ass. But we were talking about being productive though before that, right?
Yes, we were.
Yes, we were. Really think that the state of your room, and you might have brought this up before, but the state of your room is connected to your level of productivity. Well, I guess like mind, soul, and body, right? Your level of productivity, but also like your mental health. Like, because all three of those kind of have to be working in tangent for things to be oiled, I think, and running smooth like butter. That's why I've been virtually cleaning. I organized my PC. Oh man, editing has been so nice, bro. I don't have to have anxiety about, oh my god, I'm losing track of what was what. Everything is all in one downloads folder. What am I gonna do? What I do need to do is go do a second wave and date everything. But that also goes back to what you were saying earlier about doing things in chunks, because organizing my computer all in one go, bro, that would take days. And like finding out how I want to organize it, choosing a system, that would take eons. But what I did is I have a big video folder. I organized my videos folder. I sent everything to different folders. Like for example, my fighting game channel, my gaming channel, which I have to post on, and I will. Not everything is in its own little pocket. If I need, for example, different angles of Lexington, there's a Sprite folder instead of me having to download it 20 times because I don't want to go through the work of looking for it again. Cleaned my downloads folder, organized everything, and there's peace in my virtual world. Now I have to get to my physical world. It's been neglected. There's much plastic in my room to be recycled. Many empty water bottles. It is not okay. But hey, at least I ain't trying to be something I hate. Like, what? Me? Dirty room? Never. My sister will pull up on the stream and be like, huh?